see and also hear what is happening right now.
Smoke signal, as it were, announcing the outcome of this evening's ballot for the papacy. And we're currently in the midst of the Cardinals of the Order of Presbyters, which will be followed by the Order of Deacons. Once again, each cardinal makes the oath in his own name, taking personal responsibility for his promise and his commitment to maintain the secrecy of the conclave, to faithfully carry out the Petrine ministry if elected, and a solemn oath to affirm and to defend boldly the spiritual and temporal rights, the religious and secular rights, as well as the freedom of the Holy See. The oath also speaks about the necessity of faithfully and scrupulously observing all of the prescriptions that the popes have laid out for the conduct of the conclave, and we can be assured the whole apparatus and procedure of the conclave is designed to ensure that there can be no doubt about the valid election of the next pope. And we know that these cardinals all take very seriously this very religious commitment to elect a new Bishop of Rome.
Sic me Deus adjuvet, ex sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego Augustus Paulus, cardinalis lo iudice, sponde ovoveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adjuvet, et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego, Ioannes Marcus, cardinalis Avelin, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adjuvet, et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego, Pizza et Bere cardinalis Abaleke, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adjuvet, et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu Deo tango.
Et ego, Leonardus Udalricus cardinalis Steiner, spondio vovio ac abiuro, sic me Deus adjuvet et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego, Philippus Neri, cardinalis Ferrau, spondeo vovio ac iuro, sic me Deus adjuvet, et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego, Robertus cardinalis McElroy, spondeo vovio ac iuro, sic me Deus adjuvet, et haec sancta Dei Evangelii, quae manu mea.
Et ego, Virgilius cardinalis Ducarmo da Silva, spondeo voveo ad iuro, sic me Deus audivet, et haec sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego, Anscarius cardinalis Cantoni, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adjuvet, et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego, Pula cardinalis Anthony, spondeo voveo ac iuro,
sic me Deus adiuet, et ac sancta Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego, Paulus Cesar, Cardinalis Costa, spondeo voveo at iuro, sic me Deus adjuvet, et ex santa Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego William Cardinalis co spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adiuvet et ac santa Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego ad Albertus Cardinalis Martinez Flores, spondeo voveo ad iuro, sic me Deus adiuve et santa Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego Georgius Cardinalis Marengo, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adiuvet et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego Petrus Baptista Cardinalis Pizzavalla, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adiuvet et ex santa Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego Stephen Cardinalis Brislin, spondio vovio ad iugoro, sic me Deus adiuvet et haec sancta Dei Evangelia, quae manu mea tango.
Et ego Angelus Sixtus Cardinalis Rossi, spondio voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adiuvet et ex sancta Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego Aloysius Joseph Cardinalis Rueda Aparicio, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adiuvet et ex santa Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego Gregorius Cardinalis Ryś, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adiuvet et haec sancta Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego Mula Stephen Martin Mula, spendo vevo ac iura, sic me Deu advent ad hac santa Dei Evangelia, qui mani mea tango.
Et ego Joseph Cardinalis Covocano, spondeo voveo ad iuro, sic me Deu adiuvet et ec santa Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
Et ego Protasius Cardinalis Rugambua, spondeo voveo ac iuro, sic me Deus adiuvet et haec sancta Dei Evangelia, que manu mea tango.
If you are just joining us here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV, you are watching live Vatican City as Cardinals who will begin the process of selecting the next Pope. They are taking the oath of secrecy right now. We want to bring in our correspondent live on the ground there. Rafael Romo has been with us all morning. And Rafael, you've been giving us some great context as to what we're watching play out. There are so many people who are looking at this and learning a lot this morning as we watch this historical process play out. Talk to us about the oath of secrecy, where the Cardinals are right now, and what happens next.
Yes, Fanchen, hi. Well, the Cardinals are all now in the Sistine Chapel, where they are taking a collective oath of secrecy. We've been watching that for the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We're talking about 133 Cardinals. Imagine every single one of them has to step up to the lectern and give that oath of secrecy. And this is how the Roman Catholic Church's highly choreographed process of choosing its new leader begins, for choosing a new pope after the death of Pope Francis. The Cardinals prayed earlier today in the Pauline Chapel before moving in procession to the Sistine Chapel. When the conclave starts, the Sistine Chapel will be under lockdown for the voting process. Even cell signals around the chapel will be blocked in the next few hours. All those 133 voting Cardinals will cast their ballots for the very first time for the next pontiff. We will not see any of that because it's all secret. No cameras anymore inside the Sistine Chapel. And the rules say that if a cardinal receives more than 2/3 of the vote, we will have a new pope. But the reality is that we do not expect that to happen on the very night of voting. The crucial number here is a 2/3 majority, which means 89 votes for whoever is going to become the next pope. If not one does, if there's no one chosen, voting will resume on Thursday when as many as 4 rounds of voting can occur. So that's the situation here. That's what's going on right now as we speak, Fanchen.
Raphael, explain the oath of secrecy. Obviously, this is a big deal in this process. I know that the Cardinals will be rooming with 3 other people. There'll be 4 to a room. Does that mean they can't discuss it at all, what they plan on or who they plan on voting for?
Due to the overwhelming violence that was taking place in the Eternal City.
Yeah, John, that's a very, Joe, I'm sorry, that's a very important question. And let me give you a little bit of context as to what's transpired after the death of Pope Francis. After the funeral, the Cardinals started meeting daily in what they call general congregations. And these are meetings where they discuss matters of the church, where they have discussed things like finances, for example. But it's also a great opportunity to get to know each other, because the reality is that many of these cardinals had not met before, so they're trying to get to know each other, have a better idea of who can be their leader, who has what it takes, someone who probably speaks multiple languages, someone who has experience administering, running a diocese or an archdiocese, for example, someone who is a charismatic leader. There are many factors here that come into play. So once they get to the Sistine Chapel, the reality is that most of them probably have a good idea of who they like, who they don't like. All the back and forth, the conversations have already happened, and now it's the time to make a decision and to vote for someone.
That's an interesting detail, you know, that a lot of the Cardinals, some of them, like you said, have not met before, but they're going to be voting. How long do you think this is going to take, Raphael? Very quickly.
Yes, it's probably going to take, if history is any indication, just a few days. Just to give you some context on this, the last 2 times for Pope Benedict XVI and also for Pope Francis, it took 2 days in each case.
All right.
Pope Francis, it was 5 rounds of voting, meaning there's 1 round today, there's 4 tomorrow. So it can happen within the next 48 to 72 hours.
All right. Well, the world will be watching. Raphael, we know you've got to go. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Good to see you. And again, we're going to continue our live coverage right now. Again, this is the Sistine Chapel. You are watching the Cardinals as they take that all-important oath of secrecy. This oath of secrecy meant to ensure that there is no doubt about the election of the next pope. Raphael also told us that they are jamming cell signals there in Vatican City to make sure that there can be no espionage or any nefarious play or nefarious people or operations at play here. So again, the Sistine Chapel is ground zero right now in terms of the eyes of the world watching as these cardinals select the next pope. And Joe, we learned so much this morning about the intentionality behind every single detail, down to the diet that the Cardinals will be eating, and when they go into that secret room to start the process of deliberation, of conversation, of prayer, and ultimately of voting.
And it was interesting, as you just heard Raphael talking about these Cardinals showing up after Pope Francis died, getting to know people. As we're watching them take the oath of secrecy, you can see young, you can see old. The average age of the 133 Cardinals is 70 years, 3 months. The youngest Cardinal elector is 45. The oldest is 79 years old. I wonder, and we'll speak to our guests all day and our fathers and monsignors that we've had on here the last several weeks talking about this, if age is an indication. You know, when you're speaking to these people and they're the head of an archdiocese and they've been around for 30, 40, 50 years, you know, seeking God's will and listening to the Holy Spirit, if that is an indicator to say, all right, that's a check mark. That's what I want to see in the next pope. I don't want to see anyone with health issues, and you're really getting to know them, asking them a lot of questions. You know, we always sit there and we talk about middle school voting at camp, who's going to be the camp king, the camp queen, who's going to be the class representative in the high school, Miss America. We're talking about the NFL draft and all of these things that we go through in the U.S. This is obviously something that's on a bigger scale because, again, you're talking about the Pope and the 1.4 billion Catholics around the world. All eyes are on this moment. Each step of the process, very important, going back centuries old to what they're doing, how it's laid out, the procession, the arrangements, the timing, the voting, everything down to the detail, as you mentioned earlier, about eating, when they get up, what they're wearing, how they present themselves, the voting process, up to 4 each time a day, the black smoke, the white smoke. It's very important to this process as it's laid out in the next couple of days. And I've heard from not only my Catholic friends, but experts we've spoken to, if it goes beyond Friday, that indicates something different than what people have suggested, that it should be over within 48 hours, like it was with Pope Francis.
Yeah, and we were hearing from Monsignor, and he was actually talking about the significance of what's happening globally right now and how the church approaches that, and also how this new Pope will approach where we are globally as a world, but also as a country. So many popes, or so many cardinals, are representing regions of the world right now that have not had representation before from a cardinal. So there are a lot of things that can shift with the election of this new pope. Not only Catholics will be watching that, but if you're not a Catholic, what's happening right now on the screen is going to affect us globally, whether you're Catholic or not a Catholic. So it's really, I think, an interesting opportunity. It's an important moment in history, an important opportunity for us to be able to bring this to you live as it does happen right now. So again, you're looking live at the Sistine Chapel as the Cardinals are in the process of taking the oath of secrecy. We are going to take a quick break right here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV, and then we're going to rejoin the selection of the new Pope live from Rome in just a moment.
In a world that's flooded with noise, remember this: the truth doesn't always just show up on the surface. You really have to uncover it yourself.
For us, presenting the facts isn't just a responsibility, it's our driving force.
We aggressively pursue the truth. We look at every side and its context until the full story emerges.
We show you what it is, and we let you decide the rest. This
is the news
on Merit TV.
I love what I do, which is help people make the switch to consumer cellular. People like this. Hello, I'm Veronica.
My name is Darvin.
I'm Courtney.
I'm Jackie.
And we switched to consumer cellular.
Consumer cellular gives you access to a fast, reliable, nationwide network for up to half the cost of big wireless.
I was with my previous provider for 15 years.
It was terrible.
Why are we paying this much for our cell phone bill? It's crazy, right?
Dropped calls or missed calls. To me, that was just normal.
We wouldn't get to talk to a person.
Now with consumer cellular, no problems.
Our reception is so much better with consumer cellular. It's been amazing.
I just made a road trip across half the country, and I did not have one dropped call.
Living in the desert, that call quality is very important.
Better customer service. They tell me exactly what I'm paying
and why I'm paying for it.
And here's my favorite part. You can save up to half on your bill.
It's within $1 of being half of my old bill.
With Verizon, I was paying about $150 a month. With Consumer Cellular, I'm paying about half that.
As AARP members, we get 2 lines for $55 a month.
I still can't believe it that I was wasting that much money.
I'm like, okay, this is doable. This is affordable.
I wish that I had made the change sooner.
I'm getting the exact same coverage for half the price. That's a beautiful thing.
Done deal.
We'll set you up with the best plan for you and help you wrap things up with your old provider. It all takes about 20 minutes.
Switching over took about 20 minutes. That's it.
Call 1-800-624-8523.
To switch today. For a limited time, new customers get their second month free.
I am not the most tech-savvy guy.
What's a SIM card? I don't even know.
Their agent did everything for me.
And not to brag or anything, but you get the industry's best customer service from one of our 100% US-based call centers.
Consumer Cellular customer service reps are A1, top-notch.
They are so nice. You get a human being to talk to.
You can even bring your own devices for free, and there's no long-term contracts. You just pay less every month.
It's month to month, very simple.
You're not locked in.
I got to keep my phone. I got to keep my number.
You can keep your old phone number.
Think of all the trouble that saves.
When I order pizza, they have my number, so it goes right to the account. And that's nice. It's little things.
We keep in touch with our family through video chatting. It's become such an important time, and Consumer Cellular facilitates that.
If you're thinking about switching providers, do it.
If I can do it, you can.
That's why I love Consumer Cellular. They've made it easy.
Like that, I was now a Consumer Cellular customer.
And I've been bragging to my friends about it, too.
We'd love for you to enjoy our reliable nationwide coverage and the best customer service in the business. Give us a call now and start saving up to half on what you're paying now. It only takes about 20 minutes.
Call 1-800-624-8523.
To switch and save up to half with Consumer Cellular. Plus, for a limited time, new customers get their second month free when they sign up today.
No, not now.
Yeah, dude, that doesn't look good.
I know what to do.
What's that?
I'm going to cashnetusa.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, I can have the money as soon as the same business day.
Oh, nice save.
Oh, saving the day is easy. With CashNet USA.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to cashnetusa.com to apply for the money you need now.
Well, good morning to you and welcome back to Dr. Phil's Merit TV. We are covering live the beginnings of the selection of the new Pope. You are looking live right there at the Sistine Chapel in Vatican City. The Cardinals, the 130 Cardinals who will select the next Pope, they just finished taking their oath of secrecy. A lot of secrecy surrounding this most historic moment in the selection of the Pope. A lot of people ask, well, why is there so much secrecy? They want to maintain the integrity of the vote. They want to maintain the intentionality of the tradition that is this process, and you are looking at it live right now as it continues. The Cardinals attended a prayer service. They enter this process with a lot of prayer, petitioning the Holy Spirit to guide their minds, their hearts, wisdom, and decision. And they entered that service. They did the oath of secrecy. They will now move to the room where they will proceed with the selection process. Round one is scheduled for today. And of course, we know that Cardinals have been banned from this point forward from having any outside contact as they go into this most secretive process. The Vatican taking extraordinary steps to make sure that the integrity of the vote is protected. In addition to the secrecy, they are also using jamming devices in and around Vatican City to make sure that there is no espionage of any case or any stealing of information. But we are going to be waiting now, Joe. All eyes are going to turn their attention to that chimney to see when that smoke turns from black upon the very first round of voting to white. And at which time, when it does turn to white, that signals that a new pope has been selected. So you are looking live right now, if you're just joining us, at the Sistine Chapel, where the Cardinals have just taken their oath, and they will now proceed to begin the selection process. The doors are closing there. And with that, the voting and selection process will be getting underway in just a moment. As that door just shut, you are watching history in the making.
We have not seen this since 2013, I believe, when Pope Francis. And so going through this, the setup, the millions of dollars that's being spent for the process and the pageantry that we've seen the last 24 hours, but just getting prepared and what it takes. And at the end of the day, it's a $40 chimney that's going to give the answer to who the next Pope will be. And then, of course, as you've seen all morning, the chimney and then the balcony, they will come on. There it is. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
All the process, the oath of secrecy, the signal, the cell phone, no one talking. It's a major global event. And then at the end of the day, the smoke is going to come out of there to tell us that we have the next Pope. And then, of course, they'll go from there, the announcements, to the balcony, where he will speak to people right there in Vatican City. They are live. That's your live look right now. According to our correspondent, Rafael Romo, earlier, about an hour ago, he told us that there is a crowd there, but there will be tens and thousands of people gathering in the next day. A lot of people thinking this isn't going to be announced within 24 hours. But a lot of people are outside watching the large screens, just anticipating their next leader of the Catholic Church. 1.4 billion Catholics around the world paying attention to this closely, as they should be.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are Catholics, and for
the
Catholic faith, this is somewhat of a pilgrimage to be able to travel, to be able to be in the Vatican, to be there for an historic moment like this one. So a lot of people wondering, if you're just joining, if you're not too familiar with what we are witnessing right now, there will be multiple rounds of voting, and multiple rounds is most often needed before a candidate emerges as the new pope. The vote needed is 2/3 majority. So once they get that 2/3 majority, then the chimney, the smoke coming out of the chimney on top of the Sistine Chapel will turn to white. But this morning was dedicated to prayerful consideration as they begin the process. So it's interesting to see. I remember watching this play out in years past, and it really becomes a 24/7 observation, a 24/7 worldwide observation, the world captivated by this selection process. And we're honored to be able to bring it to you live as it happens, because for a lot of people, this may be the first time that you are seeing something like this.
Yeah, and two different thoughts here as we go into this. The 133 Cardinals, as we heard from Rafael Romo earlier, they were there early on after the Pope died, getting to know the other Cardinals. Are they the head of an archdiocese somewhere? Because I had asked Monsignor this morning, what goes into the process? We know that, there's obviously God's wisdom and guidance, and that's the priority one. But is there a resume? Are we looking at social media followers? Are we talking about accomplishments of these cardinals to become the next pope? We do know this. We know that Pope Francis was a pope of the people. We just saw an image of people outside gathering, anticipating this huge announcement, but those people are smiling, hoping that Pope Francis, it didn't matter if you were 85 or 5. It didn't matter if you were a baby, if you had sickness, a disease. It did not matter to this Pope. And I think a lot of my Catholic friends are saying they love that about it. It was literally emulating Jesus, getting out and touching people and praying for people and bringing hope. But also, if you talk to Catholics as well, this was a Pope that talked about cultural issues worldwide and addressed those things. And so you're starting to wonder if you're a cardinal going into this process, what are the issues? Getting to know these other cardinals within the last week or two, having lunch with them, talking about specifics, because that's important going into this big vote today.
Absolutely. You brought up earlier the biblical worldview versus the cultural worldview, and how pivotal that is going to be as
And what a great image right there, the video.
I mean, it's
just beautiful.
There's so much art. There's so much history. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can see the glorious sunrise there over Vatican City. Just moments ago, as we've been giving you a front row seat to what is happening, you're watching that last cardinal come there, one of the leaders of the church, closing the door to the Sistine Chapel. Behind those doors is where the cardinals took that oath of secrecy. So the big question now, what happens inside, behind those closed doors? Our correspondent, Boris Sanchez, he has an incredible computer visualization on the very process taking place as we speak. Watch.
The secretive process for voting for a new pope all happens here, inside the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel was then placed under a total lockdown, including cell blockers installed in 2013 that prevent any calls, texts, or internet access. 9 cardinals are then chosen at random to perform specific roles in each voting session. These 3 are the scrutineers who oversee the voting. There are also 3 revisors who verify the results. And finally, 3 infirmari leave the chapel to collect votes from any sick cardinals. Next, the vote. Vatican law specifies the ballots be rectangular paper, bearing on the upper half the words "Eligo in summum pontificem," or "I elect as the Supreme Pontiff." The cardinal then writes his choice for pope on the lower half, folding the ballot twice. Then, highest-ranking cardinals first, they carry the ballots to the altar, holding it in their hand like this so that it can be seen. Each cardinal then places the ballot on a receptacle covered by a plate that sits in front of the 3 scrutineers. After all the cardinals have cast their votes, the scrutineers add them up, and the totals are checked by the revisors. The names are then read aloud for all the cardinals to hear, and then a scrutineer pierces the ballot with a needle threaded with red string through the word "Eligo," or "I elect," and secures it to the rest of the votes. As many as 4 votes a day can take place, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. A candidate must receive more than a 2/3 majority to be elected pope. Next, the ballots are taken to stoves in the back of the Sistine Chapel. The stove has an electronic device that adds chemicals to alter the color of the smoke. The color of the smoke from these ballots is the only indication to the outside world of whether a new pope has been chosen. Black smoke means that no candidate has received a 2/3 majority and a pope is yet to be picked. White smoke means that the cardinals have come to a consensus and the pope has been chosen.
And that is the process that is currently underway. Again, we just want to clarify, we just heard him say there will be just 1 round of voting today, then tomorrow 2 rounds, and if needed, 2 rounds thereafter.
In
daily.
the morning and the evening, yeah.
So we will going to take a quick break once again, but as we leave you right now with a view of Vatican City, as many of the faithful, many Roman Catholics are arriving for their glimpse at history in the making. We'll be right back.
The new gang that is terrorizing a wealthy community in Gilbert, Arizona.
Preston was attacked at a party.
A hybrid gang made up of mostly white, upper middle-class males.
This is a real gang situation.
They just surround you, beat you up, leave you laying on the ground.
He's stomping on me, kicking me in the face.
And the thing that really stuck in my head the worst was all the footprints on his back.
Somebody needs to step up, by God, and stop this. That's tonight on Dr. Phil Primetime.
When it comes to family, I always do what's best. My parents taught me that. That's why I called A Place for Mom. Their personalized guidance was just what I needed to find senior living for Mom. And their advice is free to families. Not just free, invaluable. Our advisor gave us options based on our needs and budget, guiding us to the best decision. I never expected a free service to make such a difference.
Our service comes at no cost to your family. Connect with us today.
Studies continue to show the benefits of CBD, including how it helps you to stay asleep and wake up well-rested. But not all CBD is the same. While many CBD products are oil-based, Sleep Cream's pharmaceutical-grade CBD crystals are over 99% pure, sourced from known small-batch domestic hemp farmers. There's a distinct difference in quality. And Sleep Cream uses 8 times the amount of CBD found in leading competitors' products. While some CBD oils can be gross and smell bad, Sleep Cream uses natural and organic ingredients to give it a soothing lavender scent. Unlike marijuana, sleep cream is 100% THC free. It does not cause a high, and you won't fail a drug test regardless of the amount you use. CBD in sleep cream is safe and it's legal. This makes it the world's first and finest non-melatonin CBD-infused cream for sleep.
Making other news right now on this Wednesday, Motown legend Smokey Robinson is being accused of sexual assault. Four women who used to work as housekeepers for the singer have filed a workplace harassment complaint. Each of the women say they resigned because of Robinson's, quote, repeated sexual assaults and sexual harassment. The women are seeking at least $50 million in total damages. New development to the ongoing dramatic story of Luigi Mangione. Listen to this. His online legal defense fund has now surpassed the $1 million mark in donations from more than 28,000 people. This includes a $30,000 donation just in time for his 27th birthday this week. The funds will cover expenses associated with all three pending criminal cases against Mangione. And happening now, day 3 of jury selection is underway in the sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors are now signaling the jury may not be selected until Friday. 50 jurors are being questioned each day with the goal of qualifying a pool of 45 prospective jurors. They'll trim that down to 12 jurors and 6 alternates. We'll be right back.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today.
Oh, that's great.
What position did you play?
First base.
That's what Grandpa used to play. When our hearing wouldn't allow us to use a regular phone, it made us feel isolated.
It became difficult to communicate with our friends and family.
Clear Captions was an easy solution for us.
Clear Captions provides captions on a phone like captioning on your TV, so you can see what the caller is saying live as they say it.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear Captions service is provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you qualify to get a Clear Captions phone at no cost to you.
Call 1-800-401-2141. That's 1-800-401-2141.
Well, thank you for joining us today. It's been a busy day. In fact, you can find the real story with Dr. Phil wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you subscribe.
And a lot of news, of course, happening on this Wednesday. The major topic, the worldwide topic that everyone's paying attention to, the start of the conclave. The doors just shut about 30 minutes ago. The process is off and running with 133 cardinals electing a new pope. We will have coverage all day right here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV, so stay tuned for that.
As you can see, people faithful are showing up there at Vatican City. They are expecting tens of thousands of people to see and wait and see when the new pope will be selected. You are watching the moment when the doors to the Sistine Chapel were closed, signaling the official beginning of the voting and selection process for the next pope to lead the Catholic Church.
Yep.
So now all eyes turn to this, the chimney on top of the Sistine Chapel. That smoke will burn black until a new pope is selected. The moment we see that smoke released being white, we know that the Catholic Church has a new leader.
It could be 24 hours, 48 hours, but a lot of people told us, as we've been covering this last 3 weeks,
yes,
that if it goes beyond Friday, that's something different. It should wrap up within the next 2 days.
So as we leave you here at Vatican City, we will be keeping a close eye on this. If there's anything we need to break in and update you with, we indeed will do that. We'll leave you now with a beautiful view of Vatican City.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. It is not intended to provide